we saw the emails this morning, so can we talk about free agency
We
now?
can talk about free agency now, okay?
Yes, okay. I guess let's start with Anthony Davis.
Well, I mean, obviously, it's great to have him back. He's going to be the cornerstone of our franchise, obviously, and a guy that has the opportunity to be a great player for a lot of years. I mean, I like everything that he brings to the table. An extremely hard-working kid. I mean, he's been out in LA working for the last month, really. So obviously, he's in China right now, and I just think that he's one of those guys that, from a character standpoint and a player standpoint, you know, there's not a better player in the NBA to start your franchise and have it be the anchor of your franchise.
No, it didn't seem like he needed much persuading to sign that. He signed a minute after he was allowed to. So can you tell us did he come to you and say, I'm ready to get this thing started?
Well, I think with him, you know, first of all, he loves the city. I mean, he loves New Orleans. I think he loves what's going on here. I think he sees an opportunity for this to be a real special place. I think that was important to him. I think he wanted to be a part of building something, and that was important to him also. So it didn't take very much persuading because I think he really knew what he wanted to do and what he wanted to be involved with. So it was an easy thing, and you know, obviously we're extremely lucky that he would want to do this. And I say that we were lucky, but I think, you know, Dale has done a great job. You know, Dale and Mickey has done a great job of making this a place where I think free agents from everywhere going to want to play.
Do you think Alexis and Omer can kind of work together? Are they sort of a tandem that you can? I mean, obviously you can't play at the same time, but do they work?
Yeah, I think I like that combination because I think it gives us two different looks. You know, obviously Omer actually per minute played is one of the best rebounders in this league. I think he's a really intelligent player, very good. You know, he's a cerebral player from the standpoint of things happening defensively on the floor. So I think that's really good. He gives us that size, the bang, allow us to not have to double team a bunch of the premier centers in this league. So we're great to have him. Lexi, I just think he's one of those guys that's still coming into his own. I think you're going to see him get better and better and better. I think he's going to have a really good year. The thing that I've been most impressed with, I've been watching tape on him, is that he has the ability to step out and make shots, but he also has the ability to take the ball to the basket and finish strong at the rim. So those two guys together, I think, gives us a real good, you know, the center position is covered.
You felt it was very important to bring both those guys back as your centers?
Yeah, I do. I thought it was really important to try to bring, you know, all of the guys back because I thought, you know, they laid a really good foundation here. When you think about the fact that, you know, you win 45 games and really, I think, you know, Anthony ended up missing 12, 14 games. So, you know, if you can eliminate the injuries there of what's going on and have him play in those 14 games, you have an opportunity to have a really good record. I mean, obviously, our goal is going to be to try to take the next step, you know, and the next step meaning not just be satisfied making the playoffs, but, you know, be a factor when you get there.
Where do you think you guys are at now? Do you feel you got to add a few more pieces to the bench? Do you think are you done? Where do you feel you're at?
Oh, I think we'll always be looking to improve the team, and we'll take a look in, you know, in a couple of situations and see if it makes sense for us. But, you know, I think we have the core of what we really need, and I think that's what's important in this league. If you look at the great franchises, you know, the San Antonios of the world and teams like that, they've always been in a position where they had those 5 or 6 core players, and then they've added people around them. So I think we have that core taken care of, and we'll always be looking to try to add a player that may be able to help us in certain situations.
You did pretty much stand pat with the roster. You have, as of this moment, no new players. How much of that was by, hey, this is the guys we like? How much of it was dictated by the salary cap?
No, I think it was all. I mean, the majority of it is because it was the players that we really liked. You know, We just felt like the fit that we had here, the chemistry that this team had, the ability for guys to play multiple positions. We thought all of that was important. These guys have been together before. I think they really like each other and had a chemistry that we really like. So just putting this team back together was important.
How big of a step is just having continuity? You've seen a team that kind of switched coaches and was able to grow with that. How big of a step is that?
Oh, I think, obviously I think continuity is very important. I think the more you have the same group of guys together, and by that, like I said, I mean the core group of it, obviously the perimeter guys seem to change, somewhat, the fringe guys, but I just think to have those guys together and for them to be able to grow together and feel good together. I mean, you can look at, like Tony and Tim and Manu Ginobili. I mean, they played together roughly for 13 straight years or something, and they have such a chemistry and such a respect for each other that, that's the kind of thing that we'd like to develop here, a situation where guys feel great every year about coming back as a united unit, really, and then pursuing the championship.
You're talking about building and foundation. Do you think this is a roster that can win a championship next year? How many years are you looking?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't have a prediction there. I just know that I like the roster, and I think we have the ability to play with any team in the league. And I think that's, where everything starts. And obviously, injuries and things like that become a factor. But as far as being able to compete, yeah, I think we can compete with anybody in the league.
How much have you been following the rest of the league, especially the West? You see teams maneuvering. I'm sure you're glad you weren't Mark Cuban last night.
Yeah, that didn't work out well. It's interesting. It's very interesting. I think there was obviously some move made that teams seem to improve, and obviously there were some teams that lost some really important pieces. In our case, like I said, we just worry about our team and how we're going to get better and how we're going to be able to compete, and not so much about anybody else.
But are things changing in the league as far as you see Greg Monroe signing Milwaukee, so maybe smaller market teams? You're seeing just a shifting of where what guys want to do in free agency or anything like that? Well,
I don't know if it's a shift, but I think guys are much more conscientious nowadays of taking a look at situations where they can play. I think the whole brand thing is a little overrated now because of social media. You can be in any city in the United States and be as known as you can in any other major market. So I think that's really kind of even the playing field a little bit, where you don't have to be in, New York or LA or any of the major cities to be able to have your brand out there. And as I said, social media has played a big part of that. But I also think that guys they're taking a good solid look at teams and say, where do I fit in here? And not only that, what is the possibility of winning? I think winning has become really, really important from the standpoint that guys, they want to win championships now. And you can take a guy like David West. I think that's a classical example of saying, winning a championship for me is more important than the money part of
it. Is that where this franchise, you think, can be a year from now when maybe you go, again, you don't want to say, but when you maybe got a little more cap freedom and so forth?
I think there's a lot of people out there would like to play with a guy on our
team. Speaking of AD, did he have any?
I didn't say that.
I don't want to say did he have any demands, but did he have any wish lists or anything before he signed?
His whole thing is that he's going to do everything he can to help us win a championship, and that's all you want from a guy. And he knows that between Dell and Mickey. As well as me being involved, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that we can put the guys around him where we can try to get that done.
So last night, were you like sweating out that? Did you know he was going to sign right at midnight? Were you on Twitter? What are you doing? Last night about 11 o'clock? You and Dell together? Or?
We got word right after. I mean, when 1 minute after 11 came, which is 1 minute after 12 in the East. you know, we breathed a huge sigh of relief.
He's over in China. You don't know what's going on.
Exactly. But it was obviously 11 o'clock in the morning over there, so it all worked out, you know. So
Coach,
it was
his
good.
plans for the rest of the summer? Is he going to play USA basketball?
I'm not real sure. I know that he is really locked into working out and trying to add a few facets to his game that we talked about, and you know, he's just an extremely conscientious guy, and he wants to be the best player in the league. And you know, when you have a guy that good that want to work that hard to become the best player in your league, you know, you're extremely lucky to have someone like that.
In your presser, you said defense wins championships. We were talking about Dante Cunningham coming back, and
I like it. You know, I thought he was really important to our team. You know, obviously being with Golden State last year and seeing him out on the floor and his whole, I think the whole competitiveness that he has, the ability for him to guard multiple positions, I think is really important. So, you know, we like him. He's kind of that edgy guy that we kind of need on our team.
You talk about continuity. I know you explained. What does that mean? To define continuity, why is it so important in a game? You know, in this game.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you told me to define it, not spell it. but to me, you know, continuity is just the ability, you know, that guys have to really, you know, get to know one another, to you know, to be on the court together, to really get to know where you want the ball, you know, passes, just tendencies that everyone develop when you have the ability, I mean, when you have an opportunity to play with guys over a period of time. I think it becomes almost as one. You know that person well enough that you know exactly what his thought process is, or where the next pass should be going.
And you had that at Golden State last year. Could you see that coming in? You know, this was.
Well, I thought last year if you go back in the playoff series that we had against those guys, I thought that was very evident. You know that they, you know, I think everyone, you got to realize that they beat us here. I say us, them here. You know, Golden State in a crucial game, and then they also won, you know, a crucial game against the NBA champs to get into the playoffs. So I think they were feeling really good about themselves at that time of the year last season, and I feel like they really feel like it is something that they can build on for the future.
Actually, I meant Golden State. When you came to Golden State, you could see